This name does not sound familiar, but this thumbnail, and you won't be able to see it because it's already starting, but it grabbed my attention. ONF. Do we? It sounds familiar. Let me check my library. ONF. No. Okay. ONF. On and off. Open the door. Okay. This is from 9 days ago. Okay. Open the door. Damn.
Open the door. 도착한 곳은 낮과 밤을 구분 못할 익숙한 내 맘속이었어. Horizon 같은 이 공간에서 유일한 경계는 저기다지만 애를 써도 전혀 낫지 않던 내 열병과 덩치 떠지던 그림자의 모든 시작이었던 이곳 전문을 열고 나면 나는 어떻게 되는 걸까 다음 세상일지 깊은 심연일지 몰라도 Open the door Open the door 그곳이 어디라도 난 가야 해 거기 물들어가는 나의 작은 희망은 밤에 달이 빛을 잃은 듯이 점점 달라질 나의 모습이 두려운 건지 아님 바다들이 전부가 난 무서운 건지 그럼에도 난 좋은 사람이 되질 못하고 희망과 환상을 구분 못했어 많은 모험 중에 나는 괴물을 감았었고 누군가를 미워하기도 했어 사실 그 모든 건 다 나였는데 저 문을 열고 나면 나는 어떻게 되는 걸까 다음 세상일지 깊은 심연일지 몰라도 Open the door Open the door 그곳이 어디로도 난 가야 해 모든 건 이어져 있으니까 두렵지 않아 마지막이라면 시작일 테니 내 목숨보다 커진 이 욕망에 덩어리를 죽이고 고통 없는 나를 만나고 싶어 Open the door Open the door 그곳은 그대가 없었으면 해 Open the door Open the door Open the door Open the door
Wow, that was the thumbnail right there. Oh. Damn it. Ooh. Are they a band? No. I found myself so confused at first because when you hear music like this, I don't know, maybe this is just me. I heard the music and I thought they were a band, like right off the bat, like day 6. No. So now I'm surprised. I have to say, this had a very musical feel to it. I would so watch this musical. Yeah, whoever it said that the vocals were vocaling, agreed.
Open the door.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of this musical structure in a lot of the stuff that we listen to, unless it's a group like Day 6 or 1OK Rock that's actually playing the instrument. So it felt very unique compared to what we normally listen to. Damn good. This was a bit much. Like I'm assuming it's blood. But at this point, like, that's chocolate, bro. I know chocolate on a man's hand when I see it.
Open the door.
The sound design in this was fantastic. There's one part, I think it's coming up right down the hallway. Like, listen to this. Listen to the weight of the room right now. Oh, yeah. You hear all that debris falling? That's fantastic. Now, if you've ever seen the movie Get Out, you probably got a little flashback in this first scene for that. If you've never seen it, it is definitely worth a watch. Wow.
Open the door.
I really like this. I don't know why I'm so surprised that they're not a band, but I really did like this. And I do think if this was a musical, I would watch it. It had that feel to me, like there's a story there. Now this is so not really, like, it is relevant because it is the reaction, but who cares? I'm just gonna say it anyway. Story time. This is probably the best spot to. This is probably the best spot to just cut the reaction, because I'm sure that the on and off fans will just be like, bro, I don't care about your story. Just what did you think of the video? I liked it. And for the rest of you, let me tell you what this reminded me of. I'm going to share something with you. There's this part here in the video. Right here. He's in the bed. He wakes up, or whatever it is. He's in the bed. And then this thing is looming over him. Okay? Okay. I'm going to share a story with you. No, it wasn't Grover. Have some respect. A lot of you already know that, like, there was a chunk of my life where I was heavily involved in the church. Heavily. And before I joined the Marine Corps, my plan was to go and become a pastor. Well, life happens, things changed. Years later, I want to say I was out of the military. I was already married. Annie and I were on a cruise ship. Like it was maybe 2006. Somebody gave me a book. I can't remember what the book is called, but the book had, it was this doctor person. She was a doctor. She wasn't like a medical doctor. She had a PhD, but she was telling this story about how she brought this woman, like, closer to God or whatever it was. But in the time of doing all this, she felt like she was spiritually under attack the entire time. So this book is her telling that story. The first page of the book is like this disclaimer that says, I'm going to share some information with you that's going to make it, and a lot of you that are involved in church, you will recognize this language immediately, okay? The enemy is going to want to attack you more because you have this knowledge. Well, I found this disclaimer to be incredibly interesting and a little terrifying. You know, I'm 25 years old and I understand my background in the church. And I'm like, okay, so this all starts to sound familiar to me. I bring this book with me on the cruise. Now, I will admit to you that at this time in my life, Fert and I are no longer really involved in the church. We're actually struggling with the whole thing in and of itself. So many questions, so many thoughts, so many conversations, and we're just in that place in our life where we're not quite sure about any of it. And we're trying to piece it together to make sense for us. But I happen to bring this book on the cruise with me just for some light reading about demons and whatnot, okay? So keep in mind that as I'm reading this book, I'm literally reading it with a grain of salt, okay? I'm just, okay, like it's a story. Something to do. I read it for a couple days, and I kind of put it down because, you know me, I don't really read. There's no pictures. I get bored. I set it down and I think about it. One night on the cruise ship, and if you've ever been on a cruise ship, if you have an internal cabin, it is pitch black. There's no window. There's no light under the door. It doesn't matter if it is high noon on the high seas. It is pitch black. Okay? We go to sleep. I have a nightmare that I still very much remember. I have this nightmare that there is this presence hanging over me, much like this. Now, this is a little comical, but it was a dark presence that was like holding me down in my dream, and I couldn't move. Well, in the dream, because it's a dream, I did what I'd always done when I was that scared and that terrified and I can't move. I understand what's happening, so I pray. And I pray in the dream for help. I wake up. And I'm laying in the bed on the cruise ship, which is pitch black. And I look at I open my eyes into the darkness, the pitch darkness, and I can see very clearly what is this dark presence. And it's not like it was a guy with friggin' horns. I know how ridiculous this sounds, but there was just like this dark presence or entity at the foot of the bed, and I was so scared. Keep in mind, I'm a 25-year-old Marine, and I'm just like, and I can't move. I can't say anything to Annie. I can't like touch her, nothing. I'm literally just, and I can't move and I'm shaking. And I remember closing my eyes and praying again, and I guess I fell back asleep, and I woke up later, and everything was just kind of fine, okay? I told Annie about it, and of course, her answer, which I get, is, well, you were reading that book, and it put something in your brain, and that's just how you landed there. Okay, got it. You're probably right. But here's what's crazy. And I mean, I think what I've described, and I think Vaughn had said it, it feels very sleep paralysis-y, which I've never, I mean, I'm a sissy, but I can't say I've ever, outside of that moment, experienced sleep paralysis. But it does make sense. What's crazy is, if you've ever seen the movie Paranormal Activity, which feels like it's supposed to be real footage. It's not. It's all scripted, but it's done very, very well. Well, in the movie Paranormal Activity, the main girl, the wife or whatever, she explains to either someone that, I think it's someone comes to the house. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the movie, it was like 40 years ago. So it's time. She explains to this like spiritualist or somebody, scientist that comes to the house about how she woke up one night and there was just this dark presence that was standing at the foot of the bed, and she was so scared she couldn't move. However she described that was literally exactly what I experienced. And I remember watching this movie and like almost kind of freezing up again because what she was describing, even though I know it's scripted, it's part of the movie, it felt so real to me and it kind of brought me back. So to watch this video, that's what I thought of. Song's great, musical, I'd watch it, but the whole time, that's what I'm thinking about.